What's up, everybody? We got like James and Pipsky here.
Oh, James is just here to listen.
All right, James. Okay. How are you?
Groovy? Doing
Gro-
groovy?
Groovy. Anything like happening in like Hungary with like more Corona restrictions or stuff like that?
No, pretty much like back to normal. They're just giving out the third booster shot for people.
Yeah,
They
forever.
still have like restricted border access for people that aren't like close proximity to Hungary.
Right? Okay. Damn. I'm wondering like if we are going to see like another lockdown or something like that because I read that Latvia Latvia is like locking full on down again. As the first
Oh,
country.
really?
Yeah, as the first country in Europe.
I don't see Hungary doing a lockdown again because Hungary pretty much flattened the curve. Like it's like, something like 2 or 3 people, max are sick or something like that.
Okay, damn.
Yeah.
Like it's completely crazy in Scandinavia right now with like 500 to 1,000 or something a day. Um, but they're like saying that most of this is due to
Oh, it is going up. Oh
yeah,
shit.
yeah, it
I
is.
just Googled it and it's like new cases is 859 every day. Wow, I haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
they had zero cases for a while there.
yeah. And then it has apparently spiked because a lot of the unvaccinated is getting sick, of course, right? And a lot of these are kids at elementary schools and kindergarten kids that brings the stuff home, and then you see what you're seeing now with like this increase of COVID-19 cases. Um, yeah, I think like it's an interesting situation to see because like this is then officially the fourth wave of Corona. Um, but I'm like, on the other hand, I'm like thinking like, aren't everybody starting to get used to it by now?
Yeah. I mean, and the introverts is like, this is just getting better every day for me because everything is just like coming to my house. I don't have to go out at all.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we should be used to this by now with having these home offices, and I don't see a lockdown um, as the solution because, as we have talked about in previous podcasts, you are making people go bankrupt.
I think to a certain extent, I think it's acceptable to do lockdowns if the government is willing to cover that. If we're bailing out the bankers for millions and billions of dollars, like, yeah, we should be rolling the citizens, of course. Like, let them have 2 weeks off. They don't get them to work, and we bankroll it.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
yeah, I completely agree. Like that should be it, but it's not. The reality is like it is the big billion-dollar companies that is getting all the money or most of it.
Yeah,
Why?
they're applying for these small business loans and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, I feel like if you have like over a certain amount of people, you're not a small business. Like, certain amount of people, certain amount of money, like get out of here with your bullshit.
Yeah, right. Like if you have $1 billion revenue a year, why in the hell are you applying to get these?
And getting them
Yeah,
because
and
their
getting
friends
them.
hook them up.
Yeah, that is so much like friend hugging. Like, yeah, we're going to take care of you because you're the biggest tax contributor in our country. So of course we're going to look after you and make sure that you have the money. Yeah, that's completely nuts.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like, what else is like interesting going on this week? Um, I had like
Kanye West changed his name to Yee or Yo or whatever.
Yeah, but has he gotten that approved?
Yeah, it's
It's
official.
it's official.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's madness. Two
Yeah.
words. But okay. That is Kanye West, so that is like a regular day in his life, I guess. Um I mean, like I had like this like complete train of like thought when I was like going in here, but like now it just like all vanished like in smoke. Um I have like just like a couple of things. Um Work is like fine, right? But I'm feeling like a lot of people are like stressing unnecessary at work. Have you experienced that before?
Absolutely,
Right?
yes. I
Like,
worked, in hospitality so people can vent.
uh,
you know.
Like why would you like stress and like go out of your way at your work? Like I don't understand it. Like I saw this with one of my colleagues who was like stressing driving like a truck, yeah, not a forklift but like a truck outside on the parking lot, and then he smashed his thumb or finger or whatever and broke it, right? And why? I'm like, why are you stressing? Just take everything cool, right? But there is this like type of persons that is like work is everything, and I see my company as God Himself, and so on and so on and so on, right? Why?
I think there are some people too that because they haven't experienced it yet, once they experience it, it hits harder. So like when you're in school, like for me, the first time I got in school suspension because I was late,
Yeah.
it was a big deal. I was super sad. This was like a stressful thing for me. But then once you do it, it's like this isn't bad. This is actually great. They have to bring me the homework and stuff. Like I don't have to go class to class. Like this is perfect. This works out for me. So the next time I get it, it's not stressful. And I think a lot of people, they wind themselves up because they haven't experienced that before, you know?
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, or because you can't handle the workload or you can't like prioritize.
Or you don't think you can handle it, and if when you're in a situation that you don't think you can handle, you don't know how it's going to end up, you stress over how it's going to turn out in the long run.
Yeah. Well, that's only gonna get you hurt because you will lose focus and hurt yourself in the process one way or the other, or burn out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Uh, um, yeah, but I'm like seeing like more and more of these people at like my workplace with like that are like stressed out. Work is everything, and you should work like 10 hours overtime a week or whatever, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Fire me or give me a vacation because like I just have like a concept in my head that is that you shouldn't be more loyal to your workplace than your workplace would be for you, right? If you can follow that, like
Yeah,
follow
of course.
that, uh, because they would fire you in an instant if they saw that as necessity, right? So you can't count on them the same way. And if you can't count on them the same way, what's the point of like giving in like 15 hours of overtime a week? Because that is your free time you're eating up for a few extra dollars. Yeah. Um, I don't know. Like I had like so much here. Another thing is that I like started to read Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. Um,
You've never read it before?
nah, like I've seen like the Disney movie. I remember seeing the Disney movie when I was a kid, but I've never read the book, right? And I'm like, holy shit, he uses the N word a lot. I can see why this is.
Yep.
I can see why this was banned, in public schools.
Yeah, there's a lot
Wow.
of like real cult classic, I guess cult
Yeah.
uh Americano books that are like, yeah, they're very explicit and they're standard reading in America. Like Catcher in the Rye. Man, oh man, every single page.
Like when was these books written? Like I know
Oh,
that
I don't know.
Huck Finn was like written a little before the mid 1850s, where I guess like that was common for a white man to use these words. I don't know when Catcher in the Rye was written. Um, is that an old book?
Catcher in the Rye, relatively old,
Yeah,
depending on who you are, I guess.
yeah. Because like I have heard about it, but I haven't read it. Um, okay, this was published in 1951 by J.D.
Yeah.
Salinger. Yeah, okay. I guess like these words was also common in the 1950s in America.
Well, it's not he's not, I mean, maybe there's some slur words in there, but I'm talking about like he uses explicit words like fuck, like every single page
Oh
there is an obscenity.
wow,
Yeah,
wow! And this is
this
1950.
is and it's standard reading for high school, middle
Wow.
school level kids.
So this is in the curriculum in elementary school in the US.
It's a recommended reading. It's not technically part of the curriculum. It's like, they give you a reading list for over the summer, or they let you pick a book to read, and that's on that list.
Wow, that's
And it's
crazy.
only like 150 pages or something. So it's
Well,
like, eeny, meeny, miny, this one,
well,
Obviously.
well, that's fantastic. Like I love short books. I have only like read like a few books that is longer than that. Lord of the Rings being one of them. Um,
God, it's such a great book. Like, yeah.
yeah. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like reading that when I was like 12 or 13, and I read like the whole thing in like all three books. I had like this big book that was everything in one, and it was like 1,500 or 1,600 pages, and I plowed through that on a vacation in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I remember when I read Lord of the Rings, it was like I couldn't find anything I wanted to read. I'd read like the first couple pages, like, okay, this is trash. I don't want to read this. But then you pick up Lord of the Rings, and it's just like you couldn't put it down. It's such a great book.
Yeah, yeah. You like get like completely mesmerized in reading that book because like it has so much for it. And then after this, I also read The Hobbit, which is kind of like the prequel to Lord of the Rings. Also love that one since you got like the backstory of like many of these characters. Um, Pretty sure James has also read these books. I don't
Yeah, I'm
know,
pretty sure
like
he has too.
it's just a
He's
hunch.
also presently James is reading the Bible.
He's reading the Bible.
He's never read the
Wow.
Bible.
Well, me neither. Like I haven't either.
I think that's crazy to me because, like, a bajillion. It was forgivable like a bajillion years ago when you had to listen to what the preacher was saying, right?
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
formed their opinion on religion based on what the preachers were saying, but now you can form your opinion on the religion based on the pieces of paper. These people go to great lengths to make sure that everybody can see it and form an opinion on it with their own brains based on these books, and then people form their opinions on it anyway, without even reading the book.
Well, that's
They're
true.
just like, well, my preacher said that abortion is bad. It's like, that's not in the
But
Bible. In fact, they say it's great. Rip that womb out multiple times.
but okay, like please enlighten me. Like, what's the difference then between the New Testament and Old Testament Bible?
So the Old Testament Bible is like God, like God imbued the words onto these people that are writing different books within the Bible. And the New Testament is Jesus comes and his story of Jesus, and Jesus is the Son of God, and his story and his words, and the big like significant difference was that Jesus came to find out, like, everyone keeps fucking up. Why does everyone keep fucking up? And then Jesus becomes human and sees, this is why everyone's fucking up, and you're forgiven. And when people say, what's the most important commandment? He says it's love, and this is what love is. Go forth and be loving humans. And people just kind of like, yeah, I think we're just supposed to judge each other. What? That's not what Jesus said.
Yeah, like
Like, at all.
oh, we're just
It does
taking
let in there.
we're just interpreting it our own way.
Right? They
Right?
do, because someone's pastor said, someone's mama said.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, man. But yeah, that's like a recurrence. You also see that with like how extremists are interpreting the Quran. You
Yeah, it's the
know,
same thing. And the Quran is actually, I get it. Like, after reading the Quran, I was like, I get where people are coming from, where the divide is. It's just the divide right now for Islam is much more deadly with the head chopping.
yeah,
Because, like,
yeah.
the Muslims that are like that read the book and they still believe in the book or whatever, it's very feminist. A lot of it is, I mean, I know some people go, oh yeah, that's not feminist at all. But, like, for example, the story of Moses, it's told from the perspective of Moses's mother. Like, it's like the same stories, but it's much more geared towards women and the stories that the women had to tell.
Wait,
It's very interesting.
this is in the Quran?
Yeah.
where Moses'
It's
story
the
is
same
like
story.
told.
It's just a lot of the same stories. Homeboy was just like, blessed be his name or whatever. Muhammad, there we go. Was just like, yeah, let's do a little bit of that. Let's put that so in the Bible it's an apple that they eat, right? But in the Quran it's like a wheat, right? That they eat, and that's why they can't drink beer and stuff.
Okay.
Boom, that's crazy, right?
Wow. Like,
Same thing.
who wrote this? Like, I get it. Like,
Muhammad.
Muhammad wrote it, but like, what, did you just take a copy of the Bible and just change the narrative, or like, man, like, I don't know. I have like no clue. Um. Yeah. Maybe I should also read the Bible once then, and see like what's that all about.
Yeah, for sure. I
You
mean,
think?
I think everybody should read like the Book of Mormon, the Torah, the Bible, like the Quran. Just read them all so you can have an opinion. I mean, you watch the new Ghostbusters, so you could say, yeah, for sure, that was a bad movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
But why not do the same with all these holy books?
All right. Um. Yeah, regarding like Islamists and it's like maybe not Islamists, but there's a dude, right, who is making a movie about the man who hid Saddam Hussein for 8 months. Yeah, a movie about that.
That's
But
interesting.
when I was like reading this article, I was like thinking like, holy shit, because the dude all of all, out of the blue was like, I gotta make a movie about this. So he spent 3 years figuring out who this person was that had hid Saddam in this hole. Since this was just knowledge to the CIA at the moment, and then another 2 or 3 years convincing him to like give up the story and the name and all this stuff so he could make the movie about it. So it took like 6 years just to get him on board, to get the interview and write it all down. But I don't know. I'm interested in seeing like if that could be a good movie, because why would it? It's just a guy that like hid Saddam because he either believed in him or he was scared, right?
It could be an interesting movie. Depends on how it's done.
Yeah, I think so too. But I don't understand like how you could make a movie about it, because the concept seems so
You can
little.
make a movie about anything. Like, is it like a documentary kind of movie, or is it like a movie?
Documentary, I think. Yeah.
It'll be all right.
It
I
will be
think one
right.
of the top selling movies or media is actually like the documentary called Earth or something like that. Like, that's everyone wanted to watch Earth for whatever reason, which is
Earth.
interesting.
A
Yeah.
documentary called Earth.
Yeah.
And what?
And it's just stuff of people and places and things around Earth.
Yeah. Okay. That's weird.
It's interesting.
That's weird. I don't know. Like lately, when it comes to movies, I just want something that is bloody, loud, and short.
So like horror films,
Yeah, I like war films and action films
like
and stuff.
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. I like Halloween. I think like seen all of the Halloween. Maybe not the new ones. But I did like those. I definitely also like. Really like horror movies. Um, like It, both the new one and the old one. The old one was the best.
I
Uh,
am not a horror movie buff. I just
you know,
watched some junk on Netflix about, how they were made. And apparently Friday the 13th, they decided to make that because they were like, huh, Halloween's doing pretty good. We should rip that off. And so they did.
I don't know. Like Friday the 13th. That's with Jason, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like the problem is that with Jason, you have like, what's the word, like for a villain, that's the antagonist. Yeah, the villain is the antagonist. In Friday the 13th movies, the dude is pretty much invincible. He can't be killed, right? Then what's the point? The dude is
It's
freaking
scary.
immortal. Yeah, but the dude is immortal. No matter what you do, you lose because the guy comes back. Yeah, And it is like kind of like the same with like the Halloween movies because Michael Myers seems to be freaking immortal.
You know, Mike Myers' mask is actually a Captain Kirk's mask repurposed.
A Captain Kirk mask?
Captain
No
Kirk,
way.
James T. Kirk. Yeah, they shaved off the eyebrows, spray painted the hair. Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Um, I don't know, like with other movies, but also like action movies, like Transformers and stuff. Like maybe not Transformers. I'm not that huge of a fan of like what's this? What's the guy's name that is like making Transformers?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Uh, it's not James Cameron. They call him like G
Michael
Man.
Bay. Yeah,
Michael
Michael Bay.
Bay. Yeah. Like I'm not a huge fan of Michael Bay because like he seems to like have developed this recipe for his,
Propensity.
yeah, his recipe for movies is 5 minutes of dialogue and 2 hours of nonstop fighting and shooting,
Yeah.
right? And like
Yeah.
that's that's just too,
Action.
yeah, that's action. It's too lazy. God damn. I mean, like you could have handed him like a script on like 10 pages and say like make a movie about this. No problem. Just gonna throw in some bombs and some stuff. Um, like I don't know, like what is a good director? I'm like trying to think like about like a good action movie director, and the only name coming to mind is Guy Ritchie.
I mean, Spielberg, obviously.
Yeah,
That's like,
Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg calls you up. We want you in the movie. Are you going to turn that guy down? You know?
Yeah, but Steven Spielberg doesn't make R-rated movies. He makes pretty much like PG-13, at least like the latest years.
He made Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but Jurassic Park was in 1997.
Saving Private Ryan.
94 was Jurassic Park, the first movie, and yes, Saving Private Ryan. But I'm like talking about like after this, like we're like turning a point where he stops making R-rated movies and stuff where things is like happening like that fast, and then he moves more into like this Disney kind of like way of like making movies, very PG-13.
I'm not like a huge movie buff. I don't know that many facts.
Very sugar on the top. But I'll tell you what, like I did like the first one of like like one of the first movies that Steven Spielberg made was a horror movie.
What movie was it?
I'm like checking it on IMDb now just to be sure that it was him, but it was called Duel. From 1971.
Huh.
Yeah, that was Steven Spielberg. That was like a great horror movie. Holy shit. It has 7.6 on IMDb. Like the whole movie is about this like traveling salesman that's like driving across the United States, and a serial killer that drives a truck. And the way that he kills them is that he's like forcing them into road rage. And then when he sees his chance, he just rams them with the big truck and like drives them across a cliff or whatever, So pretty awesome, pretty awesome. So the guy's like pretty going insane that he can't get rid of that truck because because he has done something with the engine or whatever, but he can't escape the killer, no matter what. He keeps like having this truck in his back mirror. Pretty good movie. Can recommend that one. Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. Like I had like this mad train of thought before I got into Discord, and it's all gone.
I know there's one that's like Quentin Tarantino does. That's kind of like on the same line is Death Proof. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, it was two. He made two movies.
Car that kills people.
He made Death Proof and he made Grindhouse. I thought like Grindhouse was like a mess but Death Proof, yeah, a car that kills people with Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell is the bad guy. I gotta check that. Like, was it Kurt Russell? I'm like 90% sure it was. Uh, from 2007. Wow,
Yes.
it was Kurt Russell. Yeah, 7 on IMDb. I don't know. Like, I liked Death Proof, but I didn't like feel sorry for any of the victims in this film,
No, it
except
was the
because like
stupidest movie.
yeah, because like why the fuck would you get in a car that is a stunt car and only has one seat?
Yeah, I only watched it because, it was Quentin Tarantino. I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
going to be interesting. And I'm just like, what is this?
what's
This
this?
isn't what I. After
Yeah,
Kill Bill.
yeah. Um, wow, he wrote it and he directed it. Yeah, I would like to
You
say
know
that.
what gets me? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, it gets me that sometimes these directors they'll like write themselves into the movie and then like give themselves a sex scene or something with one of the actresses. Like, why? Why? It's just so obvious. You're just so horrible.
I don't know, like why, like because if you're just a director, then you don't get your face out there, right? And you kind of like want to get your face out there.
Yeah, but
Uh,
with a sex scene or like some broads that are like, all over you and stuff, it's just like they need
yeah,
to stop that. And this stuff where like it's become now like in the acting world for women that if you're an actress, it's pretty much guaranteed at some point you're gonna have to take your top off. Like why? You're gonna have to have a rape scene or a sex scene. Like why? Why can't you just be an actor? Like the dudes can just be fucking actors?
yeah. No, you can't have that. But I did like read something about this, and I agreed with like the article that I was reading. It was in Norwegian, I think, um, but it was like stating that it's way easier to be a man in Hollywood than a woman because as a man it doesn't matter, you can like always come into a movie and you can always write in a movie an older man having a romance or a relationship with a 20-year-old girl, right? But
Yep.
you can never make a movie the other way around with an old
Yep.
woman having the
Which
relationship
is
with
strange
yeah,
because there are a lot of women. I know of a lot of women that do date younger guys.
yeah. But I don't know, like, isn't it socially acceptable? Or maybe Hollywood doesn't think it's socially acceptable?
I don't think Hollywood thinks it's socially acceptable. I think society at large is perfectly fine with it as long as
Yeah,
the age gap isn't like massive.
yeah,
If it's like, a 50-year-old dating a 30-year-old, nobody cares.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Um, I don't know, like, but like Hollywood seems messed up. Also, like in what we like discussed before about how easily your career can get fucked up by one bad word in the press, right?
Yeah, just look at Johnny Depp. Like Johnny Depp was like gold, like pure gold, and someone lied about him, like completely like made up bullshit. Like we have factual evidence that Amber, whatever her name is, lied.
Yeah,
And Johnny is fucked. Like,
yeah.
and it took a public outcry for over a year in order for her to be fired from Aquaman. Like, that's crazy.
It
That
is.
she's the abuser and her career isn't ruined, but his is?
Yeah,
What?
he was. Like, did I say that? But like he was on a movie festival in France or something, and like saying that the system was like completely fucked up, and like that that and it shouldn't be like this way that your entire career goes down the drain because of one bad episode, right? Where you're not even guilty,
Yeah.
but because it's been portrayed like it from the get go, and it's Disney, then yeah, your career is over, pal.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be human, like at all, ever in the public eye. Like if you make one mistake, you say one misword somewhere, they're just gonna massacre you. They're like, you should have used the word fam or y'all. You didn't have to use gender terms like guy. And no, you're canceled. That's it.
Yeah,
Like what? Like why don't you just say, oh, okay, I'll do better going forward and we can work from there? No, you're canceled.
Yeah, there is absolutely no mercy with Disney. Um, I don't know like how it is like with Warner Bros. And these other big movie companies, but we haven't heard anything regarding them when it's been like this, been the same way, right? So it seems like it is Disney that is the big bad boy here, right? Like doing all this shit, giving no mercy, firing people, um, and it wasn't only Johnny Depp. Like this has happened to, like I don't know, Scarlett Johansson. She was at least like out there saying something about that she should get more money or whatever from Disney and
Oh,
like give her a
yeah.
break.
Yeah, because she didn't sign a contract for them to go straight to video, and then they went straight to video with it. It's like, wait, what? I didn't
Yeah,
sign a contract for that, so I'm not getting money for this stuff over here. That's bullshit. And I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. She's been cheated out of a lot of money there. Um, but yeah, that's Hollywood, definitely. I like wondering like how Hollywood would have been like in the 1950s, and it would have been nowhere near the chaos that shit is today. Um, all right, I don't have anything more to add. Do you like have anything more on your train of
I'm
thought?
good.
Yeah. Um, man, like I had like this, like I had like this crazy train of thought of shit that I wanted to get out, but it's all gone. I gotta write it down when it comes back to my mind for the next recording. Anyways, thanks for showing up, and thank you,
For
James
sure.
G, for tuning in, for listening, and to anybody listening, sub. Yeah, that's it. Peace out.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.